number 10, the Indianapolis Colts. They scored on every drive. Every time they touched the ball, they scored. I'm pretty sure it's an insane stat. It was something like it's never happened before. Like, he's the only quarterback to ever do that, or some shit like that. Like, oh, excuse my language. But man, it was incredible. I watched that game and I was like, man, are the Colts good? Is Daniel Jones good? So should Daniel Jones just stayed with the Giants? He would have been better than Russell Wilson. He was better than Russell Wilson in week 1. Easily. It was crazy. But no, I just think the Dolphins are this bad. I think I had an 0-17 prediction for the Saints. I think you could have better money on 0-17 Dolphins at this point. They didn't show up. They weren't tough. They weren't playing hard. Tua looked lost. Tua has been the starter there for multiple years. How is he lost? How did he not? Man, it just did not look like it was. It wasn't flowing for them. I don't think they believe in the coaching staff anymore. And I think that's why my belief of McDaniels getting fired by the end of this season is going to happen. And I don't wish anyone to lose their job, but I think the culture's lost. And I think if the culture's lost, you might fire him mid-season just to get that funk out of the building. Because at this rate, this is not a good team. This is a team that should be sitting back and start a fire sale. Get Tyreek out of the building. Get some of those, if you have any young defenders that our contracts are up that you don't want to pay, get them out of the building. Start shuffling people off, fire your coach, prepare for a complete rebuild, because this team's not winning. Moving forward, this team is not going to win at the rate it's going. So I think but either way, no matter how bad the team was, Colts played a phenomenal game. Everyone on the Colts looked like they were having a great time. Pittman showed up, Taylor showed up, Danny Dimes showed up. Man, for all the hate the Colts got for starting him over Anthony Richardson, man, do they look smart now. Now, it's only week 1, so we'll see how week 2 does. Maybe, I'm not overreacting. I still don't think this is a very good football team, but, man, congrats to them. That goes on number 9. I got the Las Vegas Raiders. I think the Las Vegas Raiders played a great game. They played a New England team that I'm really excited for this season, where I think New England has some holes and spots to work through and some learning curves to make. But overall, I think the Raiders played a really good game. I will say, though, if Brock Bowers is hurt and Brock Bowers misses games, you should be worried, because he is their best player. I think Gentry looked good, not great. His touchdown run looked really nice, him bouncing, but it was really good blocking that helped. I think he is definitely... out of all the rookie running backs or all the rookies week 1, he was not one that I loved the most. But I think he can be a really good, valuable piece. And I think Geno looked very good. I got the Jets at 8. That's Justin Fields. He had a hell of a day. I want him to get his props. I got them at 8. I got the Commanders at 7. Once again, I think there was a team that probably, with the way the game was going, with how poor the Giants were playing on offense, I think the Commanders should have done, even though, like, I know it's 6-21, so it looks like Commanders defense did great, but I really think the Giants was so held back because of Russ. I think we didn't get a good enough sample size of how this team's really going to compete against more of the upper echelon of the NFL. So I really want to see the next coming weeks, when they play a little tougher opponents, where they rank. But that's why I have them at 7th now, because I think the teams ahead of them would beat them if they matched up, and that one being the Steelers at 6. Steelers had a great game. Great game plan. I'm still not fond of how they ran their rushing attack. I think that could be improved. I think their defense played okay. I think letting up a lot of points is still not favorable. But Rodgers played well. That offense looked like it was humming. It looked more intricate and interesting than it did in the past. I was shocked by some of the reverses they were running and some of the quick handoffs. I really thought it looked different. It didn't look like the Steelers' offense of past, and I think that favors them. Now, how is that going to work against better teams? We'll find out. Hey, maybe the Jets are a good team, and maybe this is just how these two teams are going to be this year. I disagree. I don't think that's how that's going to go, but I'm excited to see where the Steelers go from here. And as a Ravens fan, that game made me a little more nervous than excited. Next, I'll put the Chargers at 5. And Justin Herbert had an incredible day against the Chiefs. I think that team looked really stout. I think that defense looked really good. And I think Joe Alt was a star draft pick last year. And I think he slid into the role as their premier tackle with Rashawn Slater going down. Great pick. I like the Chargers a lot. I think they have a great running back, and I think adding Keenan Allen gives so much more confidence to Herbert because they already had a connection. And then Quentin Johnston, who knew he can catch the ball? I don't, no disrespect for that, but he's struggled. He was potentially a bust and had the best game of his career. Good on him. I got the Eagles at 4. I think the Eagles at 4 is more so for how they won. I know they won, and I got a team that lost ahead of them, but I think the biggest issue with me there is I think if they didn't have Saquon, I don't know if they would have won that game. They couldn't get the receivers involved, and I don't think Dallas defense is that good. Their defense looked good, not great at times. I think the delay hurt the game. I think Jalen Carter getting ejected before even playing a series was bad. I think the Eagles team, I didn't like that sample size. I think that it was a rough week 1 game for them. I think they easily can jump to a top 2 spot in week 2. But for right now, I got them at 4, and I got the Ravens at 3. And I know they lost, but we gave the game away. But whether we gave the game away or not, we put up 40 points. The defense made some good plays. The offense was firing on all cylinders. And maybe there's a little bit of bias having them above the Eagles, even though the Ravens lost. But I think the overall performance, I think if the Ravens and Eagles would have played each other, the Ravens would have won that game. I really do believe that. I believe if they meet right now, if they met in week 2, we would pull out the victory. But I will say the two teams above us, I think one beat us and one will beat us. The Packers. I think the Packers are going to be a scary team late. We play them late in the season. I've been going back and forth on that game. I think we beat them, but I think they really can give us a run for our money. They had one of, I think, the most flawless performances in week 1. I think Jordan Love looked great. The receiving core looked young and healthy as they've looked in the past few years. The running game is going to be fine. Offensive line looked pretty good. The defense looked great, like I said, with or without Parsons. They're definitely right now, I think coming out of week 2 is the second best team in the NFL. But the best team in the NFL is a team that made a 15-point comeback in the fourth quarter against the Baltimore Ravens. I keep saying Baltimore. The Baltimore Ravens. The Buffalo Bills. Man, they were incredible. Josh Allen was incredible. This team really, they struggled early, but they had a lot of fight. They had a lot of resilience. By the end of this season, they're going to be in the mix. We know it. It's going to be us. It's going to be them. It's going to be Kansas City. We're all going to be in the mix in the AFC. It's just who's going to prevail this year. And let's just hope it's not Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, those are my top 10 teams going into this season and going into at least week 2. And